So we've come down from that direction there, and all the soldiers were all in the trees, all the Croatian soldiers. And we've come down, and we were now crouching all on this left-hand side of the path. And then just to the left, just over there, was a small hut, single-storey hut. The door, the entrance door, was perpendicular on that side. Antaine and Ninja had gone over to the hut as we were all crouching here and disappeared inside. And this hut was, on both occasions, on both operations, used as a storage. For the first one it was for the rockets, sniper rifle, etc. And on the second one it was for the explosives, which were in boxes inside the hut. And then we had come out, we'd been signalled over on the first one, and me and Ali had raced across open ground here, and then we'd gone over to the hut. And then we were then kneeling down with our backs to Antaine and Ninja. We were facing this direction in front of the hut door, and I was given the grey backpack with the rockets, and Ninja gave the sniper rifle to Ali. And then the rest of the patrol were called, and we proceeded, and then the attacks happened over there. Me and Antaine have moved to the tree here. Antaine again slightly behind me to the right, observing ahead. And it was at this point here I had the rifle weapon pointing straight forward. Ninja appeared. The tree was just in front of us here. Forward he came. Over he came. RPG again, facing upwards. Went past. Antaine tapped me on this shoulder here and indicated backwards. At this point we were moving backwards, and then from this point here now, the expatriate volunteers, I noticed, were coming back here, and from around here there was the Croatian soldiers were coming out from the left hand side, and from here we headed 1.5 kilometres to at the double to a bend where there was an ascent which led back a windy road for approximately 2.5 kilometres back to the Y junction at the top of Coscair. And there we met the rear guard, who were in the position on the other side of the path. That's to say the right hand side when we arrived at the top. We then proceeded from there to the hut, which was on Krićko Brdo.
Ah, Tony, c'est là qu'on a fait sauter le pont. On était en haut là. On était en haut là. Et nous on surveillait, ils sont descendus là. Avec le caisse de TNT, il y avait 100 kg de TNT. Ils ont balancé ici les 100 kg au-dessus le pont. Ils sont remontés, on a monté les câbles et tout, avec détonateur en haut. Et ici, là, juste qu'on a appuyé, on a entendu une voiture arriver, c'était une Fiat 500 là. Et il a appuyé là. Et le pont il est parti, il n'y avait plus rien quoi. Et on a cavalé, les Serbes ils sont arrivés, ils ont commencé à tirer. Et nous on courait dans la colline, on s'est barré jusqu'à Novska. On a fait 15 km. C'est ici, tu vois le pont, ils l'ont refait le pont. Ils l'ont refait, mais bon, tu vois le goudron qu'ils ont refait, tout ça et tout, tu vois. Ils ont tout refait le pont. Mais je sais qu'il n'y avait plus rien, quoi. Il y avait tout qui avait sauté, quoi. Là, tu vois, il y a encore les vieux blocs de béton. Tu vois, il y a encore les vieux, mais ça a pété bien, quoi. Putain, il a bien cassé, hein. Voilà, ils l'ont refait ce pont. Hein. Et maintenant, je vais descendre en bas, regarder un peu le pont, Tony. Je vais un peu le regarder.
We descended and we rested approximately 400 metres from this path. As we waited, again there was the silence, there was the sound of birds, a peaceful, tranquil setting. Again tired from the march, a bit apprehensive. A faint noise was heard coming in the distance. Again it was a vehicle noise. Grew increasingly louder, the direction of which I wasn't sure. I can recall looking at Ali and Ali looking back at me, and we kind of gave a look of we're on, you know, it's on. The noise became louder. Antaine had his binoculars and he was focusing in that direction, again in the east, on the other side of the bridge. Antaine suddenly gave us a signal and he told me to quickly go with another guardsman. It was a guardsman I'd never seen before, a young lad with dark hair who was maybe about 20, 21, 22 years old. The thing I recall the most was he was carrying, he was armed with an Ultimax, a black Ultimax weapon with a distinctive round magazine. From our position 400 metres up, we suddenly sprinted down to the left, which was to the left of the bridge on an embankment. It's on a little gentle spur, which gave us a command to the north.
It was a great risk to come that road with the bus. It was very risky to go up with the car because you have been seen, you know, if you came with a vehicle on the road up.
Where it came down, what happened was the engine was off and we came down, and where the hill came flat, the engine off, the man in front, he was stood in front, the scouts, the man who led the patrols, he was stood there and everyone else was in the minibus. And when we were there, we were thinking Chetniks, somewhere Chetniks around here, so we were watching like this. It comes down, there's silence, and he stood, all I saw was him stood, I saw his back, and he stood here like this, just in front of us. And then suddenly, we heard the bangs going off in the distance. It was bangs, artillery. So the driver, it had sliding side door, the driver then started the engine, and the scout got into the minibus. We pulled him in and then we drove, and when we got to the foot of this hill, so when we are here and this happens, we then, I can remember clearly, we turned left in car, so we got driving fast, and we came around, we came around left, and then what happened was the road, Cesta, was there. And then suddenly the artillery was coming down all around us, that suddenly, Antaine said, you know, stop the vehicle. And then the sliding side door came open, and we all ran. And say that's the road, the Cesta, is like this, left to right, left to right. Vehicles this way, and we all just ran. We were running, and then that was the artillery was coming down, and we could see it, artillery hitting houses and everything,
Oni su isto imali svoje izviđače, imali kričke s njihove bile, ne znam nija, imali su artiljeriju, oni su mogli tu sa izviđačima gađati bilo što.
Yeah, they have Chetniks and Yugoslav army, they have the scouts in here, so they were, you know, attacking artillery attacks.
They were watching.
Yeah. Watching.
Yes.
Guided the attacks.
You see, you see, Bas and you and...
They hear, and then they yes. Okay, right in front of us now we have this house here, and this house, which is perhaps 300 metres down from the headquarters, is this was where our group was based. This house here at the back, there is an adjoining partition building there, and that's where all the weapons were stored in the rear. And this is the house here. That's north, back this way to the left, and straight down the road there is heading approximately south. On the front of the house here we can see a cross. We arrived here, we were dropped off by our horse driver with Milan, who was our guide. Milan was one of the officers from Plesmo, and we arrived here at the pump house. The door was open in the pump house there. We went inside and there was old machinery type equipment inside, and it looked disused whilst we were there. We arrived. The objective was we were to proceed over in that direction. Just in front of the pump house, out of view of the camera, is a grassed. It was a grassed area. It's now overgrown again, but it's approximately 300 metres to the where it meets the trees, just over there. We were preparing our kit and getting ready for the patrol. The objective again was to go in and check the defences in the trees there. The Serbs were all in that general area over there, and this was at the front line. Okay, so Olly was shot over in Plesmo. We came in the ambulance, and the ambulance drove in this way and parked around here to the ambulance, and then we rushed in up the steps. There was people here on the steps. We went up the steps, and then we went to the right, and then there was a door immediately on the left. We went in there, and doctors and nurses there were pretty surprised to see us. And there was a doctor who I said Engleski to, and there's a few nurses there. Olly was seen to by the doctor, and he said to take Olly straight away to the hospital in Zagreb.